Every DM uses a quest giver, even if they don't realize it every once in a while. And I wanted to tease that out and how you could use it in the world of Greyhawk. Today on Greyhawk Grognard. So, a quest giver, it's pretty obvious from the name what it is. It is the person or persons who give a quest to the adventuring party. And this is something that goes back to the earliest days of published Dungeons and Dragons, especially when a lot of the early games were tournaments. So you had to get the players in quickly. You couldn't just wait for them to wander around to where you were going. So, you have things like G1, and the accompanying modules where a bunch of nobles hire the PCs. That's the same setup for S3, where the noble hires the PCs to stop what all the weirdness is going on there. You get the same idea in A1. In S2, it's not nobles, it's the collectors whose weapons have been stolen. So it's something that goes back to the early days. And I would argue that there's two types of quest givers. The first type is the one-shot quest giver, right? So the noble hires you to do X or recover Y or whatever. That's the G1, that's the S1, S2. That's that kind of thing. Is where you got a person who has a very specific objective, and you're probably never going to see him again. The next kind is the one that people are probably most familiar with because it's something you see a lot in, say, Forgotten Realms. Like Elminster is the quintessential quest giver, right? He's like this ultra high level wizard, and he needs people to do stuff that he's too busy to deal with. And we get some of that in Isle of the Eight, where Tensor is sending the PCs out to get the Cloak of Rao. Um, and I was wondering, what other personages in the world of Greyhawk would be suitable for that kind of a role. And it occurred to me that there are quite a few, both good and evil, that you could use in this capacity in the world of Greyhawk. For example, Igwilf, the Witch Queen, it would be a great person to do this. It might even be done unwittingly, right? Through an intermediary, or perhaps Igwilf herself is disguised. She's no longer the elderly crone. Maybe she's in her beautiful woman guise or whatever. I think that would be a really cool thing. Maybe she's unwittingly getting the PCs to do things that will help her son Ayuz. There's a number of ways you could spin that around and make it really work. Maybe she needs the PCs to go back into the Lost Caverns of Sajkanth to awaken Drelsna or recover the Demonomicon. And she's prevented from doing so for some reason. Maybe her presence would be detected by her enemies or whatever. So she sends the PCs in. That might be a good alternate entrance uh, into that module. Obviously, there's the Circle of Eight. We saw with Tensor doing the same thing. You could have all kinds of different all kinds of different members of the Circle of Eight sending people on quests, because they're too high profile to do them, or there's too, they're busy with it. They would fulfill the Elminster role in Greyhawk. It could even be the entire Circle of Eight. The Lord Mayor of Greyhawk, Narif Gaskell, he would be a great person who might be in need of an agent or agents that could be relied upon in certain circumstances to do his dirty work for him. Even if it was with certain moral capacities. There's a line you can draw where the Lord Mayor won't send you out to assassinate somebody, but if you need to recover something because it would be embarrassing to one of the city aristocrats to have it missing or whatever, you could use the Lord Mayor to start sending you off on quests in the city or in its environs. One of these quest givers, we could go ecclesiastically. Maybe the head of the Church of Foltus in the Great Kingdom, who was recently arrested, according to Dragon Magazine. Oh no, who disappeared before he could be arrested. That's it. Maybe he's in hiding in the Great Kingdom, and he needs loyal people who can go out and do things that undermine the growing evil of the Overking, and maybe rescue other members of the Church of Foltus. There's all kinds of ways you can use these quest givers, these evergreen quest givers, in a way which it can feel forced and railroady, but I think that only really happens if it's every time, right? An evergreen quest giver, like a patron almost, doesn't isn't every week is not going to be, here's the quest of the week. Okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. You can still have a regular campaign where the PCs are making most of the decisions about where they go and what they do, and which leads they pursue. But every once in a while, maybe maybe there's nothing, no dangling plot threads that they can pull on easily. That's when you get summoned to the Lord Mayor's office or whatever. There's all kinds of things you could do. You could have unwittingly again, maybe the slave lords are using intermediaries to get you to do their dirty work, or even the Scarlet Brotherhood would be another perfect example of that. Although you'd think that they'd want somebody who was loyal. I don't see them doing that long term, right? As a one shot, maybe you're an unwitting dupe for the Scarlet Brotherhood, and then they betray you at the end. I could see that. Yeah, as a quest giver, but I don't see them unless you're running an evil party, of course. How cool would that be? Running an evil campaign where you're agents of the Scarlet Brotherhood, and you're fighting the forces of good. That could be a really really fun campaign. So there's a number. You could have Gelor from the Gord the Rogue books. He could be an evergreen quest giver because he's working as a secret agent for for no, where is it? For Nyrond over here. He's also set up as one of the heads of the Thieves Guild in Stoink. He's also working for Balance, the Druids and so forth. So there's all kinds of things that you could do with Geller as a patron, sending you on quests and so forth. And for that matter, the Agents of Balance. There's the Hierophants, there's the Druidic circles. There again, this is leaning into the Gord the Rogue books where we see balance as, balance with a capital B, is actually an active organization, or groups of organizations that is trying to keep law and chaos balanced and good and evil balanced so that nothing becomes ascendant. There's always this wheel constantly turning. I could see that absolutely. Um, if you're centering your campaign on the Castle Greyhawk, you could, once you get to high enough level, you might even have Zagyg himself as sort of a patron. Maybe through these weird cryptic riddles and so forth that you find in the dungeons, he's actually sending you off to do things. That he wants to do. Maybe it's just for his own jollies, but it still could be the sources of adventure. So let me know what you think in the comments. What kind of evergreen quest givers have you used in your campaign? I would love to hear it in the comments. Please do let us know all the juicy details. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day, and stay safe from Pinkertons. Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.